Yes, good afternoon to all. So, in the last classes, we have covered the quantum mechanics. Now, that was the fourth module which we have completed, quantum mechanics and lasers. Now, we will start with the fifth module. Okay, there are only two modules are remaining now. The fifth module, that is material science, is remaining, and the third module is remaining, optical fibers and Maxwell equations, that is remaining. So we will cover this material science. Let me go through the notes and the syllabus. What is there? Syllabus and the notes is there. Already I have shared with the link. You can able to access my Google Drive. In that you can access all the five module notes and some of the problems I have there. I have given there. Okay. Now we will start with this quantum free electron theory and semiconductors, dielectrics. This is fifth module. So this is all about the metals, semiconductors, and insulators. Okay, for metals we have the name as quantum free electron theory. Why they have given this name and what is the importance of that we are going to look at. Fine. And the next one, there are three parts in this. First one is metal, semiconductor, and insulators. First is metals, second one is the semiconductors, third one is dielectrics. Three small bits are there. The bits are like this. The first one is the classical theory is there. Before we have the quantum theory, we have the classical theory as we were having in the classical mechanics, same thing. So what all the things are older things, we call it as classical theory or classical. And what all the new things are coming up, those are called as the quantum theory or quantum the mechanics. Okay, in the same way, we have classical theory in this metal, and it has failed to explain some of the things that has been taken up by the quantum mechanics, and that has been proved. And this is not quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is module number 4. This is about the metals. Both the topics are completely different. This tells us about the metal, that is telling out about the complete quantum mechanics. Fine. So we have the second bit, physics of semiconductors. Already we all have learned in the previous classes what are semiconductors and n-type, p-type doping and all. Okay, those are basic things which we all have learned. Now we are going to advance the things. Why it behaves like a semiconductor? Why it behaves like a metal? Why it behaves like a insulator? That we are going to learn in the second bit. And the third bit is the dielectric materials. So this is completely the application part, the dielectric materials which we use in the batteries, in the supercapacitors, in the mobiles and all. How the ions are going to move and how the charges are stored inside the battery or the capacitor, that we are going to learn in the dielectric material, that is nothing but some kind of an insulators. Okay, and this includes the theory. Classical theory means what, and quantum theory means what. What is the Fermi energy? This we have done the experiment in the lab. Fermi, finding the Fermi energy of a copper metal. Okay, so some derivations are there. I'm just going through that so that you should have a look what all things are there inside that. So this density of states, a few equations are there, two to three steps of derivations are there. Very small bit it is. The first bit it is very small, and some of the things we should understand by using the graphs, and some by using the equations. And we should interpret these all equations. These are not lengthy equations, small equations. Okay, but you should remember these all things from the basics. So that's why I'm showing you these all things. Fermi energy means what? Fermi temperature means what? Okay, Fermi is a scientist who has invented these all things. Where all it is applicable, that we are going to learn. Okay, and finally, what is the success of the quantum theory? That is called as merit. So classical theory failed, quantum theory it has succeeded to explain all the failures of the classical mechanics. That what are those failures and how it has succeeded to prove all the failures that we are going to learn in this first bit. Okay, so let us start with that. This is the first bit, and I'm sure you are not going to confuse yourself with the quantum mechanics and quantum free electron theory. So you should remember this is quantum free electron theory of the metal. Okay, now I'll start with that. Okay, so this comes under the material science. So we have materials, we have the state of matter. How many state of matters are there? There are three states of matters. Okay, liquids, solids, gaseous, and if I go on listing that, we have five, six states of matters. So next one will be plasma, then the Bose-Einstein condensation thing. All those are there. Okay, in this materials we have again categories. What are those? Metals we have semiconductors and insulators we have. Okay, and in that we have the metals. So this tells us about the metal. This topic is about the metal. Okay, so what is metal? The very basic thing which all we have learned in the primary. The metal is one which conducts the electricity. Okay, which conducts the electricity. Metal will conduct electricity. Okay, and also it conducts the heat. It conducts the heat. Okay, if it is conducting these two, we call this as metal. If it is not conducting, then it is non-conductor, that is insulator. Okay, it is partially, then it is called as semiconductor. So this is the basic definition which we all have learned. So now why it conducts electricity? Okay, we have to question everything. If something definition is thrown, then we should question that. Metals conduct electricity. Why it conducts electricity? Let us say this is the metal piece. This is the metal piece. Okay, so when I connect this to battery, okay, this is positive, this is negative, so electricity I will start flowing in this metal. Current will start flowing in this metal. Okay, so why it happens? Why it happens? Because we have free electrons here. We have free electrons. We have free electrons in the metal, so that it will start conducting. Okay, that's why this is called as free electron theory. Okay, how many words are there? Free electron theory of metals. And they have joined this quantum theory. Okay, this is a free electron theory which we are learning with help of quantum mechanics or the new theory. So what all the new theory are there? Those theories are called as quantum theories. Okay, and old theories are called as classical theory. Okay, so we are learning metal. So this is all. This sentence is all about metal. We are learning the new theory. Okay, so why the metal conducts electricity? Because of the free electrons. Okay, so we have to learn the behavior of the electrons inside the metal. Okay, now why this has come up? So there should be some failure in this. This is the classical theory. Classical theory. So what it says is, it says this is a conductivity. Okay, electrical conductivity with this equation. N e square tau divided by m is the equation. Okay, no need to remember this equation. I'm just writing for better understanding. So what is n? N is the number of electrons, or we can call it as a concentration of electrons. E, charge. Tau is the relaxation time. That means these all will collide, right? So these all go and hit to this will go and hit to this. There is a collision. The relaxation time, the time taken from this collision to this collision is called as the relaxation time. Okay, that is the tau, and m is the mass of an electron. Okay, it is this classical theory will give, or we can say Drude is a scientist. Drude has given this equation. Okay, before the quantum theory, before the new theory, we have this equation. We were having this equation. Okay, and what it is saying is this is proportional to this. Conductivity is proportional to the number of electrons. That means what? If number of electrons are more, then we have more conductivity. If number of electrons inside this, if number of electrons are more here, then conductivity will be high. Resistance will be very, very less. So every metal will be having its own resistance. Okay. If I take copper, resistance will be different. If I take gold, the resistance will be different. Okay. Different materials will have different conductivity. Why? That depends on how many electrons are there inside this. Okay, so it says correctly only the this is proportional to this, where this is constant. Okay, and this may change. Okay, and this is constant. That means the main component which is proportional to this is proportional to this. Okay, and this is the classical theory which is proposed by Drude. Okay, and Drude is a scientist. No need to remember these all things. What we have to remember is, as far as examination is concerned, okay, so two things are there. We have to understand the concept, one thing. Second thing is we should prepare for the examination. Both are equally important. So failure of classical theory. Why it has failed? Though it has given this equation theory, okay, they have developed the theory and struggled, and they did a mathematics, and they found this final equation. Okay, and this equation failed to explain many of the things. Okay, in that two things are very, very important. Why it has failed? It has failed to explain the temperature dependence. Okay, so here it is not there. This is T. This is capital T. Okay, so it tells us that this is proportional to 1 divided by square root of T. The classical theory explains that conductivity, this is electrical conductivity, it depends on the temperature. How it depends? It depends on inverse of square root of T. Okay, but it failed to explain experimentally. So both should be done, right? So it should follow the experiment also, it should follow the mathematics also. Okay, the mathematical equation has given that this is proportional to this much, but actually this sigma electrical conductivity is proportional to 1 divided by T only. Okay, this is given by quantum theory. Okay, that is a new theory which is proposed. So this is a new theory which has given us correctly, and this is a failed theory. This is the first failure. And second failure is, as I said, second failure is the electrical conductivity and the electron concentration. Electron concentration is N. Okay, what do they, according to classical theory, this is sigma is proportional to N. Okay, we know that if number of electrons are more here, okay, if N is more, then it is less resistance. Okay, resistance will be less. Okay, N is the number of electrons inside that. If we have more and more electrons, then the conductivity is going to increase. Okay, if number of electrons are more, if concentration of electrons are more, then conductivity will be more. Okay, but okay, this is a general thing which is very, very easy. That means let us say if more and more workers are there, then work will be done very fastly. Okay, within if there is a work, okay, some anything work, maybe construction work, if there are 10 members, if there are 10 servants, they are working there. If the number of servants are increased, then work will complete fastly. Okay, that we know. In the same way, conductivity is proportional to this. What it means? If number of electrons are more, conductivity should be more. Okay, but in some of the metals, in some of the materials, let us look at these four metals which we have. Okay, zinc, aluminum, copper, and silver. Okay, let us take this zinc. In case of zinc, how many electrons are there? These many electrons are there. Okay, 13.1 into 10 to the power 28 electrons per meter cube. Okay, this is the concentration of electrons in the zinc. Similarly, in case of aluminum, this many electrons are there. 18 into 10 to the power 28 per meter cube are the electrons concentration. Okay. Now look at the copper, 8.45 and 5.85. These are the concentration of electrons in case of silver and copper. Okay. So according to this equation, if this is more, this should be more. Okay. This is here in this case, this is more. N is more. So what we expect, the conductivity should be more, right? This should be high. Here it is less. Here it is less. And the conductivity should be less. No. But in the actual thing, in the practical thing, copper and silver are highly conductive. These are highly conductive. These are highly conductive. Okay. And these are less conducting. Less conducting. Okay. These are less conducting. This is contradictory to this equation. What is this equation telling all about? This is proportional to this. But what is happening? Though here number of electrons are more, this conductivity is less here. Okay. Though the number of electrons are less, conductivity is very, very high. Copper, that's why we use copper. Okay. Copper and silver, compared to these, the conductivity is very high. So this is the second failure. First failure is this did not explain, the classical theory is failed to explain this phenomena, why it is happening like this. Okay, they do not have the answer to this contradiction. Electrons are less, conductivity is high. Electrons are more, but the conductivity is less. So it is not correct. It is not explaining this phenomena. There are two failures. One is this is proportional to this, they have said this is wrong. And second one is this phenomena, they supposed to explain this by their equation or their theory, they did not explain this. Okay. So because of these failures, the upcoming research is called as quantum theory, and that is the new theory which is proposed. That is proposed by Sommerfeld and other scientists in the 19th century. Okay. Let us go through the quantum free electron theory. What is the quantum free electron theory and its assumptions? Okay. So before they started the developing the theory, they have assumed some of the things. Okay. What are those assumptions? We will go through that. Okay. So first assumption is electrons are free to move inside the solid. Okay. If I consider any solid like this, let us say this is a solid, electrons are there inside this. Okay. So these electrons can move inside this but cannot come out of that. Okay. This is the first assumption, right? The electrons are free to move inside, those cannot come outside. Okay. Energy, therefore the energy of electrons are quantized. Electrons are there inside, electrons are restricted to that metal, and that is called as the quantized. That means what? Every electron will have its own energy. Every electron will have its own energy. Okay. Each and every electron will have its own energy, and that is called as quantized. Okay. That means what? It is having discrete value of energy. Every level has discrete energy level. Okay. So this is the first assumptions they made. Second assumption, what is the second assumption? Large number of electron levels are there. There are so many electron levels, there are so many electrons are there. For every electron, we have the energy level. Okay. So we represent with this like this, right? So like this E1, E2, E3, E5, like that. In the previous classes and all, we have taken only E1, E2, E3 like that. So there are n number of levels. There are n number of electron levels. Okay. Starting from E1, there are n number of electron levels which are closely spaced. Okay. And follow the Pauli's exclusive principle. What is the Pauli's exclusive principle? It says that no two electrons can have one uh, energy level. This is the one level. Let us say this is one level. Okay. no two electrons. If there is one electron here, another electron cannot sit there. If at all, if you want to occupy, the spin should be opposite. One is spin up and there is spin down. Okay, there cannot be more than two electrons in any energy level. So that is the Pauli's exclusive principle. Okay, so there are large number of electron levels inside the material. Okay, and it follows the Pauli's exclusive principle. There cannot be more than two electrons in any energy level. Okay, this is the second principle which we have. Okay, a second assumption which we have. Third one, what is the third one? Third one is potential energy of the electrons remains uniform throughout the solid. Okay, so every material will have its kinetic energy and potential energy. So these electrons move in a potential uh, potential of the material. Okay, there will be potential inside the material. In that potential field, we call it as potential field. These electrons will move. Okay, so that means what? Electrons will not lose its potential energy. It will be having the each and every electron will have its own potential energy that is uniform throughout the solid. Okay, that is the third assumption. What it means is there will be constant potential inside. If I have the metal like this, okay, there will be constant potential which is acting on the electrons. That potential itself is the energy of the electrons. Okay, it's very simple. Potential energy of electrons remains uniform throughout the, if you pick anywhere, if you take that particular electron anywhere in the metal, okay, that energy, potential energy at that instant will be constant. Okay, that is the third one. And what is the fourth one? Fourth one, they have, these are the assumptions. Okay, always we should make the equations or the problem very very simpler. Okay, to make the problem simpler, what they have neglected is force of repulsion between electron and electron. Okay, there will be repulsion, right? There will be repulsion between electron and electron. So this will pull this side, this is pulling this side, this is called as repulsion. Repulsion, the force of repulsion between electron and electron, and attraction between electron and the positron. Okay, electron and positron or the positive ion are neglected. Why they have neglected? Because the energy of the attraction between the electron and positron are very less, and if they consider in the equation, then that will become complicated. Okay, they have neglected that and calculated or developed the theory, and at the end we can include that also, right? So these are the four assumptions. These are the four assumptions, very very important as far as examination is concerned. Also, they'll ask what are the failures and assumptions for 4 marks. Okay, failures and assumptions in the examinations. Any doubts in these assumptions or the failures? Why the new theory came up? Okay, why the new theory came up? Because of it did not explain some of the things. So new theory came up. That new theory is named as quantum free electron theory. Okay. Any doubts do you have? Okay, if there are no questions, then I'll I'll explain you the Fermi energy. That is a one concept, and then I'll close the session. Okay, let us understand what is the Fermi energy, and then we will close the session. Okay, so Fermi is a scientist. He found the energy levels. Okay, so since many days I'm telling the energy levels and energy levels like that. This is the word I'm using. So you have heard this right from your high school, the energy level and all. Okay, what exactly that energy level, meaning of the energy level? First we will see that the meaning of the energy level, and then we will understand what is the Fermi energy. Okay, so this is just a graph. What is that? It is just a graph. What is the graph? This is the x-axis and this is y-axis. This is simple graph which we have. Okay, this side it is a constant, some constant this side. Okay, we call it as a k. This side is a constant, and this side it is energy. This side it is energy, that is E, right? So we cannot able to I cannot able to show you what is the energy, how much is energy of the electron, each and every electron, okay, or atom. We cannot able to show it like that, so we should understand by using graph. Okay, if I draw a line, then this is called as energy level. This is a graph corresponding where it is corresponding to this energy, maybe 2 electron volts. Okay, so this is 2 electron volts or 3 electron volts. What is the energy here? So it starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So this energy level is 2 electron volts or 3 electron volts, whatever. Okay, so for one kind of electrons, we have this energy level, okay, which is having this kind particular energy. So this is called as energy level in the graph. Okay, whenever we draw this like this, so this is, what is this? This is simply a graph, okay, which is explaining us what is the height. This is called as energy. So if I draw here, that is the energy. Okay, and we just symbolize, we just draw the electrons here like this. Okay, just to show, just to make these simple things. Okay, so we draw this like this, and it is going to this higher level and all. Okay, that is all we are marking in the graph. Okay, this is higher energy level, this is lower energy level, this is ground state energy level which we have. This is simply a graph. In case of metal and semiconductors also, this is the valence band, this is the conduction band. What these are? These are not inside the material. These are the graphs which we have. This is the x-axis and this is y-axis. This is energy scale and this is the some constant scale. Okay, so this is how we represent the energy bands. Okay, these are the energy bands, valence band and conduction bands. These are also same. These are in case of electrons. In case of metal, these are, okay, where the valence band and conduction bands are merged, okay, overlapped. Okay, and we draw like this and we can explain it very easily, right? So now let us understand what is the Fermi energy. Somewhere we have, amongst this, one line is Fermi energy. What is that one line? We are going to learn. As we know, the free electrons are quantized. That means what? What is the quantization? Every electron will have its own energy. Okay, that means every electron will have its own energy. I'll draw it like this. Okay, right? So now this is the energy band diagram I'm drawing. So this is the ground state, and it will be having the electron levels like this. If there are n number of electrons, if we have n number of electrons, then how many lines will be there? There will be n lines. There will be n lines like this, right? There will be so many lines, n lines there will be. Okay, that means for every electron, it is corresponding to that energy level. It is called as concentration of electron. N is the number of electrons, number of states. These are the number of states. Okay, and we know that it follows the Pauli's exclusive principle. It follows the Pauli's exclusive principle. What it means? If we have the lower energy electrons, it will fill here. Okay, that means one is having the spin up and there is having spin down, right? And then next energy level will fill here. Okay, if it is higher energy, those electrons will fill here. One should be spin up and there should be spin down. That means no two electrons can have a single energy level. If it is having, then we should have one spin up and there should be spin down. Okay, that means what? How many number of electrons? There are n number of states. Okay, n number of states, n electrons are there. Okay, but in one state, how many electrons are occupying? There are two electrons in one state. Okay, like this, there are two electrons in one state, right? There are two electrons in the one state which we have, right? That means what? N divided by 2 electrons are occupied, right? So these are the n numbers. But what is that? In one state itself, there are two electrons. That means n divided by 2. So these are the n divided by 2. So this is empty now. This is empty. This is empty. This is empty. Okay, these all are the empty states. So this is the highest occupied energy level, right? At 0 Kelvin, at 0 Kelvin. This is all happening at the 0 Kelvin. Okay, that means this topmost electron level, this is the topmost electron level now. This is topmost uh, filled electron level. That is the topmost filled electron level, which is occupied at absolute temperature. This is called as Fermi energy. So this is the topmost electron level. This is called as E of F. This is called as Fermi energy, right? Above which all the electron levels are empty, below which all the electron levels are filled, right? So what is the definition? Definition of Fermi energy is it is topmost energy level occupied at absolute Fermi at absolute temperature is called as Fermi level, okay, or Fermi energy level, right? So the energy level below which all the energy levels are filled, all the energy levels are filled here, and above which all the energy levels are empty. That is called as the Fermi energy. So you can write these are the alternating definitions. Okay, one is the in case which is highestly occupied topmost energy level. Okay, this is alternating. The definition is the energy level below which everything is filled and above which it is empty. It is called as Fermi level. So this is the concept of Fermi level. In all the metals we have the topmost level, and in the experiment in the lab we have this experiment to find out the Fermi energy of the copper. So actually we are going to find out the Fermi energy of the copper in the lab. Okay, so this is the concept of the Fermi energy and Fermi level, that is represented with EF. EF is highest occupied energy level. Okay, so this is the Fermi factor. Okay, so this is at 0 Kelvin. What we have seen this concept is at 0 Kelvin. If we increase the temperature, what happens? If we increase the temperature, then the electrons will go to the higher level. That we will see in the Fermi thing. So only this much for today's class. Okay, what we have seen is the classical theory failure and the assumptions of the quantum theory, and one concept. That concept is called as the Fermi energy. That is a concept. Any doubts do you have? Okay, if you don't have the doubts, just give me attendance quickly. Quickly, you have to give attendance because we have left with 1 minute. Okay, give your attendance, and if you have any doubts, you can text me. Okay, we have not seen as much of the things today, very less, and we'll move very slowly. Okay, so that it will be perfect. It will be perfect. Just you should go through once, and you'll be able to write in the examination directly. Okay, so little things we will cover every day. Quickly, you give attendance. We left with less than 1 minute. Otherwise, I should continue the session. Yes, thank you for attending the class.